It was just crazy. Like, my mom said she was in shock, and my mom was more mad at herself because she didn't notice that when they went to go eat, she hadn't been eating. So she wasn't being herself. So my mom was beating herself up over that, and I was like, no way. Like, I'm just gonna put some bacon first. Also, I just realized that I put my bacon in the fridge, so I really need to eat that ASAP. Like, usually I put it in the freezer, but thank God I didn't, because now I'm hungry. And let me try not to put grease this time, since I always seem to put oil, So anyways. Hey, my mango's still kind of kicking. I'll probably eat that too. Anyways, when I'm thinking about a partner, I think of it in the I guess I'll say Darwinian way. Like, I think of it in that natural selection. I agree with certain stuff, like you look at someone and biologically and naturally you are looking for the best traits and whatever. Intellectually, I'm looking for the best traits too, because I do not want to have to. I'd rather figure it out now than figure it out later whether they would be able to understand that some people deal with different things, and I just, they don't have to go and have like white guilt or something. But I think I'm gonna eat some bagels, some mini bagels while I'm waiting so I can gain some energy. But yeah, so it's already getting hot. Let me tell you this. I just want to make sure that he understands that we're compatible in terms of like understanding. We can agree to disagree, but there is like a deal breaker when it comes to being ignorant and then being willing to change, or being ignorant and just staying the same. So I'm gonna eat really quickly and gain some energy because I think I'm sick. I did talk to George about going to see a doctor that I've put on my to-do list forever, and figuring out if it is just like normal hormones or if I'm actually sick. I might show you what I'm eating. I have some nice grapefruit juice that I'm excited about too. Hey, I think I'm gonna put these bagels to cook. Why didn't I think about that? Okay. Okay, I'm just about to go shower. So this is so random. But yeah, I'm with my Hulk poster thing I mentioned. But I actually really like this. Anyways, so I just wanted to talk about like this one last thing that happened that I didn't talk about because I really need to wash my hair. Like, it just feels weird. And yeah, so I just want to talk about this random thing. My mom called me last night. She was feeling kind of lonely because she was the only one home. Like, my little brothers were at my stepdad's place, and my older brother was just out with his friends, and also it's probably more emotional because my brother is in the process of getting a job in Japan, and so he was in the military. He's based in Japan, or he was stationed in Japan, and you know, he didn't enjoy his time there. He basically had like a extremely more extreme version of how much I dislike it here, except like a serious problem, like, you know, it's the military. So, and he was in the Marines, so that's, you know, it was intense for him. um you know, we both kind of moved back home. We're figuring everything out for the last year, but it makes me really sad that he's moving that far away. But my mom says, okay, that's an excuse to visit him. I don't know where I'm gonna get this money to visit him, but I'm gonna find it, since obviously, like, if I know somebody there, that's already a step up, place to stay and all that. I guess I don't know where he's going, or I don't know. We don't know all the details yet, but it looks like he's actually gonna go. So that's sad. Anyways, my mom calls me because she's lonely, and my brother's trying to, you know, take advantage of the time he has left. So he actually went to Seattle like last week, I think, and he never explained to me like why he went there. I guess there's some really good vegan food. So him and his best friend, who I kind of consider my other brother too, they just flew there spontaneous trip, and I think that's really cool. My mom said she didn't even really know they were going either. So yeah, I guess my brother's trying to really fit in everything. So I miss all my brothers for like so many different reasons each. Like obviously the my youngest brother is 9. I'm always getting their ages like wrong. He's 9. He's like he's a little ratchet, mischievous boy, but he's so cute and so funny and so smart. Like, if he would just get his attitude together, you know, but he's like fun to talk to and play around. And, you know, just when you have a little brother that's still like playing video games and running around. And then my other little brother is 16, and it's crazy because I mean, I babysat him since I was born, and now he's 16, but it's like we're twins. Like, it's crazy. Like, now we just have so much in common. Like, this moment I'm trying to get him to get good grades, you know. It asked me for help, whatever. And, you know, I guess that's hard for my little brothers because there's like a huge gap. So, you know, I guess they don't want to ask for help. So I've been trying to talk to them, like, you know, their work ethic and grades are so different than me and my brothers, because, like, my mom's getting older. There's a whole different dynamic. Like, it's just crazy. Anyways, so I miss my brothers and I miss my mom. And my mom called me up yesterday. I've been talking to her a lot this week because I've been so stressed out. Every time she calls me, I say I'm doing work, and it's been true every time. I think maybe one time I wasn't, but I should have been doing work or something, you know? So she's like, why are you doing so much work? Why are you doing so much work? I'm like, there's a lot of work to do. So yeah, she's like, well, you need to take a break, blah, 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 blah. She's actually the one who said, like, how could you not bring your TV last semester? And she was so right. Like, you know, but I think, you know, my grades did turn out pretty well last semester. So it's kind of like I just need to use self-control when I'm watching TV. Okay, so anyways, here's the update. My mom calls me last night. You know, we've been talking pretty much every day. She knows any drama I have, how I've been feeling, like just conflicted, you know, and she's like, just calm down, you know, like she calmed me down. So she called me and she said one of her friends at work, who she always hangs out with and, you know, she's really close to and everything, that, you know, she was crying at lunch, and her and my mom always go to lunch at like a really nice place, and it's pretty expensive, so they take turns eating. And I didn't even know this. Like, my mom has a whole other work life. You know, she's been working like 9 to 5 for like over 10 years for the same company. And, you know, it's hard work days. She has to talk to customers. Like, I finally understood more of what she does when I worked at the mall. So I'm glad for that perspective. Like, I wish I would have got that perspective when I was like 12, so I could understand exactly, you know, what she went through. Anyways, so her friend was crying at lunch, and my mom just kind of asked her, well, what's wrong? So apparently, yeah, my mom's friend and coworker said that she had tried to kill herself, and she did it in front of her kids. And it's just, she's having depression again, and nothing seems to be working. My mom said she's about like 40 years old, and she tried to tell her kids, who I think are, my mom said, like 20 and 17. She tried to tell them like she's going through this and it's hard, but they don't want to hear it. I'm guessing because they actually saw what happened. I guess whoever she is with at the moment is not who she was with before, like her husband or boyfriend. And so she hasn't told him, or nobody really knows. And then her kids won't listen to her when she says like, I'm really depressed, and they're like, I don't want to hear it. So basically she was telling my mom, like, my mom's like, come on, you have to get help from like a professional, like, I don't know what else to think, like, you need help. And she's like, no, I've already tried professionals, nothing works, and I'm just gonna try like medication and nothing's working, and my kids don't want to listen to me. And it was just crazy. Like, my mom said she was in shock, and my mom was more mad at herself because she didn't notice that when they went to go eat, she hadn't been eating. So she wasn't being herself. So my mom was beating herself up over that, and I was like, no way. Like, this is something that a lot of different people go through, and wow, that's really loud. So yeah, so I was like, you know what, just, yeah, the shock will wear off, and all you can do is be a friend. Like, you can't know what's gonna happen, everything that happened, but it's better that you're aware now, like, well, I was just like talking to her. I don't know what she was still in shock. Like, she was just saying, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that. And I guess another one of her coworkers also said like she dealt with depression. And I guess they said like when they were little they used to like lock themselves in like a room, and like, like just lock themselves in a room away from people. So my mom is like in shock. My mom is just like, oh my gosh, my mom's like a type of personality where she says everything, she doesn't hide anything, and she just like, she kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say like, I'm pretty sure like she said like everyone goes through depression and stuff, but just, I don't know, I guess my mom's personality is different. She's like, oh my god, like, see a psychologist or whatever. But I mean, I've told my mom like different times where I felt depressed, and I kind of told her like, this is a good sign that she is being open and honest, because I would rather her be open and honest and you can be aware now than if you would have never found out and then something happens and then you're like, I wasn't even a friend because that happened. Well, no, I will tell you what made me feel like I wasn't even a friend and has made me a little bit more attentive. And well, so freshman year I used to take the bus. Freshman year of college, I used to take the bus to campus, and I lived off campus. There was this girl who was so funny and cool and nice, and she would always be on the bus. And for like 2 weeks, I'd have the same class on Wednesdays, I think. For 2 weeks, she didn't show up on the bus. And me being just, oblivious and kind of naive, like I also mentioned I was before. I was 17, but, that's no excuse. Like, I knew at that point how to be a good friend. But, it's a learning lesson. But 2 weeks passed by, and finally I had asked some people around, or someone had brought it up. It wasn't even me, which is bad. I think I was in denial, but that's no excuse for not finding out what happened. Basically, it was both of our first years, and she was actually an only child, and she was really close to her parents. And apparently one day one day when she was missing that week, she actually had a panic attack, and she actually ended up leaving the university. I contacted her later. I was like, I can't believe this. Like, you know, this is crazy. And, you know, I was supposed to visit her. I never visited her. I always do that. You know, I was probably still scared then because of the people who I surrounded myself with. Not my friends who are my friends now, but my friends from high school that I am no longer friends with. And I think that from that experience, and also from, you know, my other friend in high school, he actually had cancer, and I didn't find out until it was published in a newspaper. So that just, I literally called him and I was crying on the phone. And, you know, it's moments like those that make you realize, like, I think the most important thing is to be a good friend. You can't predict everything that's gonna happen, and you can't take care of everyone all the time, and you can't see everything, but if there's something that you feel like is wrong, you know, that's kind of that could make a difference. That's what I'm saying. So I think I'm a really good friend now. I mentioned earlier I stopped being like ratchet and, you know, just talking about people and complaining. I think it's a sign of maturity that now, like, when I say I'm someone's friend, I'm someone's friend, and, you know, I actually care about their well-being. And I think, you know, there's just a certain spirit that's been instilled in me from, like, all this stuff I went through. I never felt harm toward other people, but now I'm working on expressing that I care about people, because I don't know if you noticed, but I don't really express as much as I could. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. Anyways, my mom's like story, you know, it made me just think about different stuff. It made me think about like Sandra Bland. They kept saying, oh, Sandra Bland, you know, she had tried to kill herself before, and or she was depressed, and I don't think that means anything. Well, yeah, I think it means something, but I don't think that means that it's the exact reason why she would want to kill herself. I think everyone goes through depression and everyone has certain stuff. But I think the fact that, like in this case, my mom's friend expressed this is the first sign that she wants to change it. If she didn't want to change it and she just wanted to end it, end all, then she would have done that. And so I feel like the fact that anywhere supposedly it said that, you know, like Sandra Bland was depressed, I think that's the first step that shows that she would not try to do something, especially in this situation where she was a voice of the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, that's when I think about stuff and it scares me. And you know what's weird? So was it last night? Actually, I think my mom did call me last night. Okay, so my mom did call me last night. And the night before, so Friday night, I was doing these paper things that I was still doing today, that I finally got the email from my classmate that it's finished. And so I decided to take a break and watch some music videos. So one of the music videos on my list a few of the music videos are by Utada Hikaru. Over the years, I literally just say both names because when I was really into Japanese culture, it seemed like I finally had some stuff down, but now I just I don't know, I need to get back into it. Anyways, I was looking at her songs, and I saw something about like her possibly coming out with an album this year, but apparently those reports are not true. And, you know, supposedly Adele beat her out for like most worldwide sales or something. And I don't dislike Adele, and I have listened to her songs previously and felt like emotions from them, but those in no way compared to the emotion I felt with like Utada's songs, feelings. If anyone has had that connection with like Kingdom Hearts, anything, you know. And I think I mentioned when I was talking about David Bowie is I go through like stages of like which artists I like. So Utada's always been there. Like my brother, my older cousins who first influenced me about Japanese culture and then later Korean culture, they already knew about her music. But then like a few years ago, I found like one of her songs, recommended, or it was on Pandora, I think, a few years ago, and I just like opened my eyes and realized like her music is so beautiful, and so I was getting a little bit emotional, which I think is weird too, like, cause I guess with music that happens. I mentioned Kanye too, but yeah, I was getting emotional, I guess, and I went and looked some stuff up with her, and I noticed like, one of the recent things that happened is that she had a baby, and I'm like, I think I remember hearing about that, but obviously I'm like, I was just like happy for her. If I didn't see any pictures or anything, totally slipped my mind. So then she also got married, and I was looking at like the guy she got married to, and I was like, wow, he's handsome and he looks young. She still looks young. And I just saw like how horrible the reports were, and just the tabloids were like saying like he was a regular guy and he was broke and she was paying for all this stuff, and I was like, oh my god, like sometimes I feel bad for like how people treat celebrities, but like it's like they didn't ask for this. Like she just made music and wanted to make music. She didn't sign up for this. But anyways, yeah, I was getting emotional, but I guess the thing that really, really, really freaked me out and scared me, and like reasons why you should not be on the internet before you go to bed, is just I also read about how her mom like jumped off a balcony, I believe, and passed away. And I don't think I knew that. Like I read up on her before, or maybe I wasn't paying close attention, or maybe it was just this time that I paid attention to it. But she did she she did end her own life, and I believe a statement from Utada was that her mom had always dealt with this problem, and it was always something that we knew. And even though I think like that could be the result of problems and you can't prevent it and everything, I think it's something that you have to deal with, like whether it's helping someone or doing the best you can. Like I'm sure like she had all this money, she had any resources, but that won't always make someone happy. That won't fix everything. Even her mom herself was, a famous singer. This is from what I read. And it was just making me really sad. It was making me really sad, and I just started thinking about like how depression like, is a serious matter, and like I really don't think we're doing enough. Like maybe I should, like maybe I would want to do research into this. Like maybe that's really, sometimes I think of that when I have a weird like interest, but I think it's just something to think about. Like it really could be worse, and you could be in this depressing state where it never goes away. Because for me, it's been like I told you, my boyfriend kept threatening to hurt himself, and so I felt like I couldn't do anything and I was trapped. So I will never ever ever in my life look down on someone or judge someone for like feeling that way. And I know my mom wouldn't either. Obviously she was in shock, so she cared. But I'm saying like, so when people say like, people online hate on people and say like, oh, kill yourself, like whatever, I'm like, that's not funny, because like that's not cute, because even I've said it sometimes and I'm like, that's not funny. I've not said it online. I just like hanging out with my brother or something once or twice or something. But I'm saying like, I'm not saying you have to be sensitive to everything that's joking about that, but I'm just saying like, so basically what I was saying is, we should just all be aware that depression is something that is, from what I know, it's pretty universal, and we should take it when it's a serious matter, we should take it as a serious matter. Like, I just think it's crazy when I think about all that stuff, and then my mom told me that story the day after I like looked up that stuff. That's when I just feel like the universe has certain like lessons and certain things you need to think about. So if you guys know, like, I've been feeling kind of down, you know, with this whole like George thing and school and whatever. And I think that this message that's sent to me, I really do believe, like, you know, you have certain lessons you need to learn. Like, whether you absorb it or not, like, you're basically handed all the tools. So I feel like my mom told me something like that because, you know, I'm only half of her friend's life. I'm only half of her friend's life. And, you know, like, there's so much more to, like, live for, and there's so many different things, you know, to aspire to. And, like, basically talking about this and looking up what people have dealt with and how they have come out of it and how they have the strength to go on after literally, like, you know, trying to kill themselves or their mom died. You know, these are just the examples. Like, even my own mom's died, and, you know, I was thinking about that just now when I was washing dishes, and I was like, I literally, like, cannot imagine. Like, I don't care if I'm 80 years old, I cannot imagine, like, not, like, having someone, like, there. So, you know, it just puts everything in perspective. It definitely minimized my problems. Like, I still feel overwhelmed. I can't help that. But it almost gave me a bit of, like, it just gave me perspective, because now, like, instead of being so inside my head, I can look around me and be like, hey, there's something wrong. You know, I'm not the only one that has something wrong. Like, so I need to get it together. Like, I'm blessed. Like, let's get it together. Like, whatever, you know, little feeling I have, like, just fix it and move on. Like, stop trying to, yeah, I guess stop trying to dwell on, like, stuff that I can change. And so that was just crazy stuff. Like, she called me and I was about to hang up because George was coming over, but then she just, like, told me that, and that's, like, a serious thing to me. Like, I definitely have to address, like, just when someone's depressed, like, I put friendships pretty much above anything else, and so that's one thing I'm really serious about. Like, I guess that's why it's really hard for me to break up with someone, because I see them as a friend and I don't want to hurt them, you know. Anyways, I think I had one more thing I wanted to say. I can't remember. I can't remember what I wanted to say. Something about my mom or my dad or something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, those are just some weird, some bathroom thoughts. It was just supposed to be like 2 or 3 minutes, and then I don't know how long it ended up being, but it wasn't 2 or 3 minutes. That's all I know. So, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna get showered and wash. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my hair after I wash it, but I'm wasting time because I'm supposed to have dinner with George. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but if I still have time after I shower and, like, do something with my hair, then I'm going to at least try to upload the next vlog. I didn't check if I finished it, but yeah, I'm still really behind. Every weekend I say I'm gonna catch up, and then every weekend everybody keeps making plans. Like, I felt bad telling my dad not to come, but I think he needs to see me more than I need to see him. And pretty much the same thing with George, and that's just honest, because I've already explained to George and other people who know me, I need a lot of time by myself. And, you know, I think that's why I can understand other people's position when they're, like, explaining stuff like, I need to be myself, or I'm depressed, or whatever. I can understand it to an extent. I can empathize. I don't know exactly what they're going through, you know, I don't have kids, I don't have all these stresses. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So I have this theory that while I am a feminist and I do find like, you know, genders need to be equal, I think that hormones actually determine a lot of different things. So I've mentioned it before, like, I mean, I'm starting to think that my hormone changes like, in the past few years have determined things as like how I drive that day, how I feel. So I think when my mom told me her friend had like 2 kids, like 2 or 3 kids, I think, that I was like, I think there's a possibility that hormones may have been a factor in it, because I just think as child bearers, we have a prep in our mind. We have certain things in our body that men don't have to deal with, which, you know, I just think that the hormones in the body have a lot to do with how you feel, and that's why I'm trying to set up a doctor's appointment to see, like, you know, am I just stressed out, or is it like period pains, or what is it going on, or what is going on. Anyways, yeah, so I have this ongoing theory just about hormones affecting like different stuff, and I mean, it could just be like how I feel about my body, but I just feel like in general that women think about a lot more things at once. In my experience, the women that I know think about a lot more things at once than men do. Like, I think we have a lot going on, and then we also have hormones like that are constantly telling us like to have a baby, and you know, so I think there's another layer to like what goes into women's feelings as far as like, you know, depression, or, you know, I feel like we are more susceptible, and that's just because we literally grow human beings inside of us. Well, not me, but yeah, I'm saying that probably, you never know. That's just how I feel. And I'm not saying it hinders anyone from being a good leader or a good thinker or anything. I'm just saying, like, we deal with a lot, and it could biologically be something that way. But I mean, it's just thoughts, and you know, it could be something else completely. I don't know. But yeah, I'm always thinking about that, and I'm always like, oh, in the Michael Moore movie, The Where to Invade Next, there he goes to, I can't remember right now, but he goes to a few different places, and one of the things he finds is that when women leaders are in charge, the country or the corporation or the industry does a lot better. And I agree, because I think we think about a lot of things, and we think about the repercussions of our actions, and I think working as a team with men, we could be the best team. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but I'm saying we do deal with a lot of different things than they deal with, and yeah, I mean, that's just what I was thinking about. Like, I've always like thought, you know, like hormones have at least some effect in certain things, and they can't be controlled. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, I really need to go shower and do something with this hair. So bye. Considering how many times I've like dropped stuff on myself, I really